Hello, I am Xarkun. This is World of Warships Legends. Henry J. Hyde on the screen here. This is the build I'm using for the Tier 7 Premium German Battleship Tirpitz. Although this is kind of an old screenshot, and I think I have the Porcupine skill selected for this game rather than gyrating drill bits, but the inspirations should still be the same. We're going to be on Sleeping Giant Domination mode in the Tirpitz, and this is going to be kind of a fun game, although you wouldn't think it at first if you're looking at the matchmaking here. Notice this game features 8 destroyers, 4 on either team. I chalk this up to incentives in the weekly Havocs that require, I think, 15 torpedo hits for renown that goes toward the ongoing campaign. So if you want torpedo hits, you take out a destroyer, I guess. Unless you're like me, and you want to think outside of the box and take out a battleship with torpedoes in order to rack up some torpedo hits. In fact, I needed some torpedo hits, and I was kind of tired of playing the Benham in my session for getting footage for the review, so I decided I'd bring out the Tirpitz. And I had quite a bit of fun in this game. Notice here, I am using the new feature to ping sectors of the map. I think I'm trying to ping the area that I think the destroyer should enter the cap circle from. Somebody else is pinging it too. Bismarck out there looking like he's going to sail behind that island, so we take a shot at him on his way. I don't think it's going to hit for a lot of damage due to the poor dispersion there. We get a semi-decent hit for 7k, not an awful way to start out the game, but we are pushing toward Charlie. We've got 2 friendly destroyers with us who are pushing into the cap, as well as a cruiser. I am pinging the outer edges of the cap, where I suspect the enemy destroyers will come from, and as far as the pinging the map goes, I'm not sure how effective it will be. I don't know if these people will understand why I'm pinging the map, and I don't know if I understand why some other people are pinging the map. But you can do it, nevertheless. So, there's that. Taking a shot at the King George there for almost no damage, and we notice an Akatsuki out there. Very scary destroyer to come up against in the Tirpitz. Luckily, we are unspotted thanks to the smoke screen. Our 2 destroyers and cruiser are both rather afraid to push out and find this Akatsuki, although I wish they would. Luckily, they spot his torpedoes, and I'm going to be able to avoid all of them. Going to be a couple torpedo beats and torpedo beatdowns in this video before it's over. Now we're just kind of evaluating what we want to do. Obviously, I need intelligence, but I cannot tell my team to please go get me some of that intelligence because apparently I spammed the chat wheel too much. What a shame. Maybe we'll have shots on this King George here, although I doubt it. We have captured the capture circle, so there's no reason for me at this immediate moment to push up too far, get spotted by that Akatsuki, and have a bunch of lovely torpedoes launched at me. Although, it looks like the Akatsuki is firing at somebody. Maybe he's firing at that Benson there. I don't think that was the King George, so he should be spotted very soon. I am now moving out since this Benson is approaching the King George for what I think is a torpedo run. I ping the map, which I hope will signal to him that he should seek cover behind that island right now, which is what he's doing, because of course the King George, if he's firing HE, is going to cause some major problems for that Benson. The shot I take at the King George, over penetration for 1100 damage. Nothing to write home about, and the King George is firing HE. Luckily, most of the salvo misses, and the shells that do hit don't do a lot of damage, and, thankfully, they don't take out my torpedo tubes, which is something that can happen a lot if you have British battleships shooting at German battleships. So, follow-up shot on the King George, slightly more lucrative, leaves a lot to be desired. not good. We're going to have to work harder to take this guy down as he lights us on fire and temporarily disables the torpedo tubes on the port side of the ship. He's reversing into cover behind the island. We're well aware that an Akatsuki is still somewhere around the area. Looks like he's actually over there to the left of the screen, along with another enemy destroyer. So we're sailing right into a no-fun torpedo zone, and it's a Bliskavica. I don't know how you pronounce it, but stealthy destroyer, kind of scary to go up against. He needs to die. We're going to take a shot at him. I think we're going to miss because, German accuracy. But we see the torpedoes. We sail through the gap. Torpedo beats number 1. No damage taken from the torpedoes. Oh no, there are more coming. We're going to have to avoid these. We'd like to get our own torpedoes on the King George. Don't know if that's going to happen. But here you can see some nice maneuvering in a battleship in order to save yourself from torpedo damage. Best advice I can give you, don't be predictable, don't be sailing around in straight lines. Everybody's told you that before, but has anybody ever told you to just sail around like a drunken sailor? Too much schnapps being consumed by the crew on the Tirpitz here. We're going to make another hard turn in another direction. Bliskavica, or Bliskavica, whatever it's called, firing AP at us. Kind of odd choice there. Maybe that destroyer has very good AP. I don't know. I don't have it. But certainly he and probably that Akatsuki out there have launched torpedoes. I really, really wish that the friendly destroyer, I think that's the Benson, was not up in the northeastern corner of the map trying to torpedo that battleship and was instead down here trying to find these 2 enemy destroyers that are launching torpedoes at me. Thankfully, my maneuvering has paid off. Looks like most of the torpedoes are going to miss, and we dodge some metal fishes yet again. But no, wait, there's more. And this time, we're not going to be able to avoid every single one. We're going to, unfortunately, take one right up the prop shaft. Got to use the damage control there to repair the steering gears and stop the flooding. And we're launching torpedoes at the King George. Doesn't look like we're going to need them, though, because we can finish him off here with the guns. There he goes, first kill of the game. And we've only done 22,000 damage. Pretty anemic damage number totals, but, we've had some fun getting there. So now we're going to turn around. We've secured the Charlie Cap. This flank is clear. The rest of the enemies are elsewhere on the map, and we want to go toward them. A little bit disappointing that no torpedoes hit the King George, because we do need a couple torpedo hits to finish this particular section of the Weekly Havoc. Still, there are, 4 enemy battleships left? So, plenty of opportunity to get some torpedo strikes, provided we can position ourselves. There is the Akatsuki that I do wish the Benson had tried to kill earlier, but better late than never, I suppose. The Benson is absolutely melting that Akatsuki under a withering hail of American destroyer gunfire. Probably don't need to worry about that guy too much. He's also taking shots from one of the friendly battleships behind me. I would shoot at him too if I had a clear line of fire, but I don't. And I don't need to. The Benson takes him out. So, very good. Astute thumbs up there from, I think that's an Asashio. Now, though, we spot our target, the Gneisenau. He's very far away, though. He's closing the distance. Maybe we can do some damage on him with the guns, although I doubt it. In this particular game, the Tirpitz guns were not behaving for me, as they have behaved well in the past. And we get ricochets on that Gneisenau. Another battleship directly in front of us, and we are spotted, probably by him. It's the Bismarck. Now, we are pushing toward this gap, but the thing you have to remember about German battleships is they are quite tanky, unless they're being shot at from multiple ships from multiple angles. We don't want that. So we are steaming full speed ahead through this gap. We're going to stop, especially since we notice the Venom out there, who can spam 16 torpedoes at us. We're not quite in range of his torpedoes, but we were probably sailing into it. And there's no way to know whether he has already launched his torpedoes. We're going to take a shot at him. We definitely don't want to be spammed to death. We nearly kill him, but it's not quite enough to finish him off. The Asashio in front of us is almost dead. I have asked him to fire at the Venom. He does, but he misses. Secondaries, thanks to the secondary skills spec'd on Hyde here, which I use mostly for the Bismarck, are firing, and they are starting to score some damaging hits and light fires. I wish they could have taken out this Venom for a close quarters expert, but that job is left to the main gunners here. The fire damage, though, is ticking up. I think it is on that Gneisenau. Don't think we've lit the Bismarck on fire, but the Bismarck is turning to expose a little bit of broadside. So we're going to try to capitalize on that as soon as our guns reload. He is slightly angled, so in fact the salvo completely misses him from a range of 4 kilometers. That's nice. Bigger problems pushing up, though. The Gneisenau undoubtedly trying to torpedo us, but given our reversing position here and our ability to turn the ship and launch the torpedoes in sort of a forward firing angle, we're going to have the advantage, unless the Gneisenau turns into the island. Aha, he's tricky. He's trying to bait us into launching our torpedoes, but we weren't going to take the bait. Instead, we'll shoot at the other Gneisenau, who's sailing broadside in front of us, and we'll do a mediocre amount of damage, but a mediocre amount of damage is better than no damage, right? Fire on our ship is about to burn down, and now we have a choice. What are we going to do? We're kind of hanging back here, biding our time. Still spotted, could potentially take some shots from the Gneisenau, but as he draws closer to the island, it's going to make it impossible for him to hit us, and conversely for us to hit him. So, no point in maintaining this position, not with the Bismarck moving up there, and a Gneisenau moving up there. We're going to kick it into full gear now. The Gneisenau has chosen this time as the opportune moment to strike. Unfortunately for him, he's at a complete disadvantage. He is not going to be able to launch his torpedoes at me, but I can comfortably launch mine at him, and they are going to hit, taking him out and awarding me all the torpedo hits that I need to complete that section of the weekly Havoc. So, good. At least that one is done. There are only 3 enemy ships left alive now. The Bismarck and the Gneisenau, and 1 enemy battleship who is so hopelessly out of position that he is not going to contribute to the match at all. We get the kill secure on the Bismarck there. Not a kill steal, of course. There's no kill stealing in this game. It's all about the kill securing. That brings us up to 4 kills, which means we are 1 kill away from the Kraken Unleashed medal. The only question is, can we get it? We could probably kill that enemy Gneisenau, but he is behind an island, so he's protected from our shots, and we have 2 out of 3 of the caps, and we're gaining points at a very quick rate, 933 as of this moment. So we are in danger of winning the game before we can do any more damage. How inconvenient. Unfortunately, with all the destroyers against us and the battleships on various parts of the map, there wasn't a whole ton of damage to take during this game, but I think it was a rather fun one. We're going to launch torpedoes at the Gneisenau, hoping that he will maintain his course and hit them. But it looks like he's slowing down, giving us flat broadside, so finally we're able to get a punishing hit with these guns as the game draws ever closer to its conclusion, which will be a victorious conclusion for us. We're about to hit 1,000 points now, and unfortunately we're not going to be able to finish off the Gneisenau for the Kraken before we win. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this one. I thought it was a pretty fun little video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and take aim, Citadel, that subscribe button, if you want to see more. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all of your support, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.